everything else, you still have to be able to shoot well for it to work well. And we're back with you, Tom Gresham. It's, you know how the concealed carry movement is working its way across the country, permitless carry, where you don't have to have a government permit to carry a gun. I mean, people who are legal to own guns, and they can, if you can buy a gun, if you can own a gun, you can carry a gun. 21 states so far. 21 states have passed what is called constitutional or permitless carry. Louisiana legislature passed constitutional carry, and the governor, John Bel Edwards, Democrat, vetoed it. So the conversation now is whether they're going to try to override the veto, and that's going on right now. This week in Baton Rouge, the state capital, the governor rallied around him several law enforcement officers and said, see, law enforcement opposes constitutional carry. And it's a photo op, and the media reports on that, and they say, yeah, law enforcement opposes it. Except, of course, we've seen this so many times before. It's a typical move. It's a political move. And we always know that, you know, you're going to get some that do and then an awful lot who don't. And sometimes the ones who don't, the ones who favor the Second Amendment and the Constitution, they'll speak out. Well, one of them did. Joining me right now is Sheriff Whittington. He is from Bossier Parish in Louisiana, up in Bossier City. Julian Whittington joins us right now. Sheriff Whittington, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, so what's the deal? You watch this dog and pony show down there, and you got some of your colleagues in law enforcement lined up with the governor saying, yeah, we don't think we ought to have constitutional carry. You kind of had a different take on that. What is that?
Well, all of those gentlemen down there are my friends and colleagues, and I'm not sure what their rationale or reasoning is, but I know what works in Bossier Parish. And as you know, the constitutionally elected sheriff, my duty is to ensure that my folks' Second Amendment rights are protected. It's not up to me to guarantee that everybody's a trained marksman. That's not my role or responsibility.
How long have you been sheriff?
Seems like forever. I've been 33 years. 33 years in law enforcement.
Holy cow! So, in your experience, and we've had concealed carry in Louisiana for a long time, open carry as well. In your experience, people who are concealed carrying, who are otherwise law-abiding, what kind of a problem do they present for you?
None. That's the whole point of it. I asked some of my colleagues, out all your years of experience in investigating crimes and arresting criminals, how many of those people, those drive-by shooters, carjackers, all those criminals, how many had their concealed permit? You know what the answer was? Zero.
None.
Okay.
Zero.
Criminals are criminals. They are not going to abide by the law. That's why they're criminals. They're just looking for easy targets. And currently, in my view, what we have just punishes or penalizes law-abiding citizens.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder, the people who are opposing constitutional carry, are they saying that the criminals are sitting around waiting for it to be legal for them to carry a gun so they can then go commit a crime? That just doesn't make any sense.
It does not make any sense. You can't explain it because it doesn't make any sense. And some kind of get hung up on this, quote, training. Do you know what the training is in Louisiana? Mm-hmm. You fire 36 rounds from 7 yards. If you don't kill yourself or the instructor, you're certified. I looked it up. We have never failed an applicant in all of our years of doing these permits.
Well, so to be specific,
the term training is thrown around very loosely.
You don't actually even have to hit the target, do you?
Yes, sir. You do have to hit the paper.
Oh, you do have to hit the paper. Okay.
You do have to hit the paper, but at 7 yards,
it's not that hard.
It's not that hard. But calling it training is just that's not what it is.
And you got people who say, well, if regular citizens can carry guns, they're going to be a danger to themselves and other people. With all your experience, I mean, do you have many mishaps with people?
Hasn't proven out. I'll tell you one thing. If I'm in the grocery store or the mall and some wacko goes to shooting people and executing people, I hope there's some people in there that have a concealed permit. And you know what? I don't really care whether they have a permit or not.
You don't care if they're wearing a uniform or not, do you?
No, sir, I don't. If they can help take out the bad guy, whether or not they have a $50 permit, will be the last thing on my mind.
Son of a gun. Well, I know that there are, Sheriff Scott Franklin at LaSalle Parish, he also came out in favor of constitutional carry. There got to be other sheriffs and law enforcement officers who are okay with the concept of law-abiding people being able to carry guns, but they're just getting drowned out by this media blitz from the governor.
That's part of it, I think, and a lot just don't want to engage and necessarily get in the middle of a big hoopla. But
right.
It's if you look at the information and the facts, it's just not supporting the argument that there's going to be blood in the streets and suddenly otherwise law-abiding citizens are just going to turn into vigilantes and just go out on killing sprees. That's just hype. That's not true.
I hear you. Well, I sure appreciate it, Sheriff. Appreciate you speaking out on this and telling the truth as you know it with all your years in law enforcement. Well,
it just, all this is about a permit. We don't have a permit problem. We don't even have a gun problem. We have a criminal problem. and we need criminal control, not gun control.
Well, there it is. Bossier Parish Sheriff Julian Whittington joins us. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you do.
Have a good one. Thank you.
All right, you take care. There it is. 0, none, no issues in 30-something years of law enforcement with people who have carry permits, good guys with guns, and the bad guys, they're not waiting to get a permit, and they're certainly not waiting for constitutional carry. They're just doing what they're doing, and the only thing that blocking constitutional carry does, it says good people are not going to be able to protect themselves. That's all it is. If you're in Louisiana, right now is a good time to be calling your elected representatives in the legislature and saying you want an override of the governor's veto of constitutional carry.